What is up, guys? It is your friendly neighborhood trader, Joseph Watson, and I am so excited to welcome you to the Current of Currencies podcast and my new segment, FATA for today. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, FATA, FATA. Oh God, is this guy going to try to sell us a food NFT? Quite the opposite, my friends. In investing and trading, the highest level traders base their trades off of three different types of analysis. Fundamental analysis, which is things like news and media posts. Technical analysis, which is things like charting and math. And also sentiment analysis, which is the way that the market feels. Now, before we get started, I'd like to remind you that I am not a financial advisor, nor is anyone on my team. On our channel, we only do paper trading, which is essentially hypothetical situations of stocks, cryptocurrencies, or equities that we might buy. Now, whether you're new to the market or an advanced technical trader like me, this channel is for you. I'm going to be giving you a great roadmap on some of the major players that I track that have the ability to push and pull markets so that you can see a grander sense of the ebb and flow, much like a current. So here's my roadmap for you. If you're serious about investing in trading, I'd highly suggest you get something like TradingView, which I use, and I'm not sponsored by, but could be, and start to track and trade this for yourself. Every day, we're going to start off with the Fear and Greed Index. This is a sentiment analysis machine that takes in a bunch of world factors and produces a number between 1 and 100. 1 being extremely fearful and 100 being extremely greedy. Now, what a lot of people will explain to you is that you want to be extremely fearful when others are extremely greedy, and vice versa. This is one way to look at it, but I just see it as another indicator. We're going to be covering the Dow Jones Industrial Complex, which is obviously one of the most important signals in the American market, the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in the American market, and then we're also going to be looking at gold and oil futures. In the cryptocurrency space, we're going to be looking at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, which is the same thing just for cryptocurrencies. We're also going to be looking at Crypto Total Market Cap, or Total 1, Crypto Total 2, which is all of the cryptocurrencies excluding Bitcoin, as well as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'm also going to be doing something where I track whale wallets. Now, I do this just to kind of get a feel for if the coins are flowing in or out of the exchanges, aka buying or selling. Again, not an extremely important factor, but something I like to watch out for. Now, I'd like to begin by explaining to you that this channel is going to be completely unbiased. As you can probably tell, I don't have a party, I don't really care for politics, and I just like tracking world markets. So when I speak on this next subject, I'd like you to just have that in mind. War is an inevitable and extremely unfortunate part of living in the world that we live in. I say this because right now I have hawk eyes on the Ukraine situation. Now, if you've been living under a rock or you just don't know, let me fill you in. Russia has currently surrounded Ukraine's borders with about 100,000 of its troops. And if the U.S. intervenes, there could be serious problems for our energy sector. As a trader, I worry that if the U.S. does intervene, we could get, at minimum, economic sanctions, and at worst, a complete pullback of what they provide for us, which would crush our markets. And this comes at the absolute worst possible time because in the last 18 days, the Dow Jones has dropped 7% and the S&P has dropped nearly 9%. This is unheard of. The last time that we saw this was March of 2021, and we can all remember what that was like. Another large concern for me was cryptocurrencies being a hedge against inflation. Now, I didn't fully believe this, but I was waiting for it to play out. And if you haven't seen Bitcoin or Ethereum, I'll show you in a few minutes because I don't think it worked. And I'm extremely pro cryptocurrencies. I can't wait to see where we're going with this. With banks like Goldman Sachs and some of the largest investment firms like BlackRock calling for recessions day after day, I really have to wonder, what's the next year going to be like? So let's break out the charts and see what we're going to be dealing with. So let's start out with the Fear and Greed Index. Right now, we're currently at about a 43, or in the fear territory. This is a little concerning to me as we have a lot more ways to move down. And when I show you the crypto fear index, it'll make a little bit more sense to you of what I'm about to explain. So looking at the DJI, or Dow Jones Industrial Average, we have seen an extreme move downwards. And this is one of the scariest charts I've been looking at, because back here we have the March recession, aka you know what. And this is the first time that the Dow Jones has closed under the 200-day moving average. Now, if you don't know what a moving average is, I'm going to be covering indicators on this channel, but that's not for today. And just hear me out for now. The 200-day moving average is one of the most important indicators of a bullish or bearish market, or if we go up or if we go down. And this is the first time we've closed under the 200-day moving average since the March recession. As you can see back here, it didn't end well. And that is why we track markets every day, to make sure that we are making the correct moves and saving or making the most money that we possibly can. Looking at the hour chart, I have to explain that, again, over the last, I believe, 17 days, we've seen close to an 8% drop in this stock. And that's just not heard of. It's only the last really month that we've seen such a downward turn. We saw a double top over here. And again, just closing under the 200 days is all you really need to know about this. Another thing I'd like to point out is that in the stock market especially, if a downtrend happens and closes on the bell on Friday, 100% of the time you are going to continue that downtrend on market open on Monday. And for the new traders, we don't trade markets on the weekend. That's just how it works. So let's look at the S&P. The S&P is almost mirroring what the Dow Jones is. And again, it's just terrifying at this point to watch this play out, because again, we just look how bad it turned out for us last time. If you're worried about all of these squiggly lines, I'm going to be covering indicators at a later point in this. For the traders that know, they know. For those who don't, just hear me out. We'll get to it. So again, we're there. It really is going to be the next couple weeks that we'll see this play out. So let's look at the strength of the dollar in all of this. One thing that has moved this market so much that I don't have the time to cover in a daily news section is the subject of inflation. And if you don't know what inflation is, it's the strength of the dollar basically going up or down throughout time. A stronger dollar is technically better, but with it being a world reserve currency, there's a lot of bad things that can happen when it inflates too much. So we've been in an ascending channel for quite some time now. We've seen some false breakouts up and down, but I believe we're going to continue trading in this channel. We're right now at about 95,770-ish and moving around. And I think that we're just going to continue to see a move upwards from here. The hourly charts, again, they're holding over the 200-day moving average, and we could see an explosion upwards within the next week. We'll be tracking this at all times, because this is what moves a lot of the markets, including cryptocurrency, no matter what people tell you. It has a lot to do with fiat currency. So let's look at the Chinese yuan, because obviously China has been all over the news, and we just have a lot to cover in this sense. It is also in a period of hyperinflation. Over the last couple years, we've just seen it skyrocket. And is this good for the market? Not in my opinion. Especially seeing, how China is doing economically in these times of Evergrande and just world discourse. I really have to wonder what these next few months have to play out, and that's why I'm going to be doing daily market watches on this. Gold, again, the major hedge for all you gold bugs. I am super bullish on gold. We've seen one of the higher highs over the last few years. Again, only in 2019, let's say from the beginning of 2019, we've seen roughly a 61% increase from the top. And right now, we've seen, give me 1 second. A 42% increase. Now, a lot of people are having the argument of, do we hedge against inflation with gold or Bitcoin? And I will leave that up to you. A good portfolio is always diversified. That's one thing I will say. One of the reasons of why I'm covering oil futures is because oil has skyrocketed. And in the times that we're living through, I have to wonder what, the energy sector, like I was saying before, is a huge problem. And that's why we have seen this skyrocket. From the last bottom in April of 2020 to now, we've seen an increase of 85, or I'm sorry, 80. That can't be right, but it is. 25,618%, but that again does not look right at all. Let's look at it from November 20th till now. 115%. So oil is just definitely one of those commodities that you have to watch, because obviously it influences the economics of the entire world, no matter what industry that you're in. You need oil for energy, you need oil for production. Always watch oil. Moving on to crypto, and what I was stating earlier about the fear and greed index, we are in a period of extreme fear, as you can see. And this is why. From the top, and that was Bitcoin at 69,000 to where we're at now, we've seen a 47% decrease. And, another reason of why I started this channel is because I'm so tired of people screaming hodl at me. When I would never hodl, I would never suggest people to hodl. And I'm sure the people that are hodling, and especially ones that dollar cost averaged along this whole period, and especially more recently, you guys got wrecked. And that's why I'm creating this channel, to give you the education that you need to get out when you need to get out, and to get in when you should get in. Now, we do this through reversals. You buy after a reversal, and you sell before you hit the top. It's all about strategy at the end of the day. And if you aren't an advanced trader, I would highly suggest for you to not go into cryptocurrencies due to the volatility of the market. It's not an easy thing to do. Not many people are great at it, and you really have to focus a ton of time if you want to be good at it. It's just the honest truth. So moving on to the crypto cap without Bitcoin, we have seen a downward movement of around 46%. And while I'm extremely bullish on Ethereum long term, I still feel like we have a ways to go. We see a major support cloud that we are about to come up on here, but not only in the stock market, but the crypto market as well. I believe that we are going to continue to move downward, and we are actually on the verge of a death cross. If you didn't know what a death cross is, it's when the 50-day moving average moves underneath the 200-day moving average, signifying a bear market. Bitcoin, one of the most upsetting assets for crypto traders, and I have loved watching, I'm not gonna lie, I've loved watching the crypto YouTubers bug out on this. And let me get rid of my drawings because I know it looks insane right now. I'm sorry. From the top, we've seen an almost 50% decrease. Now, you can't possibly tell me that if you dollar cost averaged from, let's just say, the last low point of around 30,000 till now, and held still because you are a hodler, that you were doing something good for yourself. The way that I look at it is that you're taking your hard-earned money and locking it in a liquidity pool that is failing you until we raise to new all-time highs. Now, that's just not a good use of money, but maybe I am being a little biased in I'm a trader and not investor. And there is a difference between trading and investing. Investing, I feel, is more long-term, whereas trading, if you're good at it, you're taking positions of long and short positions, but I personally make more money from shorter positions time-wise. I don't mean shorts. That's subject for a different day. Ethereum is basically in the same boat. From the last all-time high, we've roughly seen, excuse me, a 50% drop, and we are far under the 200-day moving average on the day time frame. All of these have been day time frames, by the way. And I still don't think that we've seen a floor. I could do other videos going more in depth, which I would love to do, on why I'm taking this sentiment. But again, this is just a quick market update, and I'm very bearish right now. If you are telling me that you are bullish right now, then you need to come on my podcast and we need to have a nice little conversation, because this is just not the time to buy. One of my favorite traders, Jay Bravo, writes a book called How to Catch a Falling Knife. And if you are getting in right now, you are trying to do that. It's just not a good time to do it. Wait for the reversal. That is the best possible thing. We're not going to be trying to find the lowest possible income point, because let's say that you did that here, per se, right? You waited for a reversal, you come back, we tapped our EMA ribbon, went right back down, went right back up, double topped right here, and look where you'd be at. So if you did get back in there around this point, ironically where we're at right now, you'd be down about 25%. This is why I trade rather than do long-term trades. And I do have a very small percent that I keep in Bitcoin just because. So the last thing that I'll cover for today is whale wallets. And I just track these to just kind of see if coins are going on exchanges or off exchanges. I could show you my Glassnode account, but I pay way too much money to not be paid to show you. So consider giving me a like and subscribe, because maybe I can get this YouTube channel monetized, and then I will give you all of my information rather than just a little bit of it. So looking at the whale wallet bot, we have seen in the last 24 hours Give me 1 second. 15,000 ETH move from wallet to wallet. 196,000 BUSD was burned at Binance. 22,500,000 was moved from Binance to an unknown wallet, so that's off an exchange. Almost 100 million BUSD was transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. 51 million roughly was moved from wallet to wallet. Doesn't really matter. 50.4 million was moved from an unknown wallet to wrapped ether. Oops. 25 million was transferred from Binance to crypto.com. 1,016 bitcoins were transferred from an unknown wallet to Coinbase. That's not looking good. 72 million BUSD was burned at Binance. 50 million USDT was transferred from Huobi to an unknown wallet, so it doesn't look like they're going to be taking any positions anytime soon. 20 million from another Huobi to unknown wallet off the exchange. 19 million from an unknown wallet to Binance, but that's much less than the inflow that we just talked about. We have another 1,125 bitcoins transferred from an unknown wallet to Coinbase. Again, not good. 9.5 million BTT transferred from OKEx to another wallet, so flowing off. 9.5 million BTT transferred from an unknown wallet to another unknown. Doesn't really matter. 24 million BUSD transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. And then finally, 658 bitcoins transferred from an unknown wallet to Coinbase. So most of that was coins. Most of that we should note are there are a lot of coins flowing onto exchanges. And that means that they're preparing to be sold, or sometimes they do that to kind of fake out the market, but I wouldn't put too much balance in that. So with that, I will end my not 24 hour, my daily market update. I hope you enjoyed what I had for you today. If you like what I'm doing, give me a like, subscribe, and tick the little bell for the YouTube algorithm so you can get all of my updates as soon as possible. My name is Joseph Watson. This is the Current of Currencies podcast, and I'm about to catch a wave out.